Hello everyone, welcome to the Azure Learning Series. This is day 5 of Microsoft Azure Learning Series powered by Azure Developer Community. This is Lakshit Pant, your host for today, and today we are going to talk about Microsoft Azure AI and some cognitive services that Microsoft Azure offers. And for the same, we have Garima ma'am from Microsoft itself. She is the technical consultant at Microsoft, and she'll be sharing her insights around Microsoft Azure cognitive services and how does it work, how you can, as a student, how you can just get benefited from it, and what are the mm, purposes of Microsoft Azure AI cognitive services. So, not missing much more time, I'll just quickly pass on the mic to Garima ma'am. So, ma'am, over to you.
Okay, hello everyone. Good evening. I am quickly sharing the deck that I've prepared for the session. Let me know if it is visible to everyone. Is it visible, Lakshit?
Not yet, ma'am.
All right. Now
Yes, ma'am.
it's my
Yeah,
screen.
it's here. Yeah, it's here.
All right. So yes, good evening everyone. Today we are going to talk about Azure Cognitive Services. So in this episode, we will learn about some of the AI and ML services provided by Microsoft Azure. So these services are called Azure Cognitive Services. So, okay, let's start with a question of what exactly is Azure Cognitive Services. To learn this, firstly we need to understand what are the cognitive services are. So, for example, let's say you are an application developer and you want to develop an application that can take image as an input and identify human faces, display gender, faces, and if there are any images there. For example, here in the image, if you can see, AI is able to recognize there is a human, there is umbrella and car, bus. So, likewise, you want to develop an application. To develop such kind of application, you need to have a basic understanding of these three concepts rather: deep learning, machine learning, and intelligence. And most probably you also need to have some understanding of a programming language like Python or R. These are the languages that we generally use for AI model development and AI application development. So yeah, so like sounds like a lot of learning we need to do to actually able to introduce AI in our application. So it sounds very difficult and time consuming thing that okay, too much of homework needs to be done. So to what we can do to accomplish this, you need to have a certain level of expertise. As I said, machine learning, deep learning, and AI. So now imagine if you can do all this without any prior knowledge of ML, DL, or any programming language. So that will be very cool, right? You just need to introduce an API or import an library in your solution, and you can use all these cognitive services. So by using Azure Cognitive Services, you can do all of these and even more uh, without having that much homework or that much understanding of deep learning and machine learning, all those concepts. So, what are cognitive services? Cognitive services are nothing but set of APIs and toolkits that can be used to develop the applications which are intelligent applications. So, intelligent means that can take their own decision. Likewise, in the photo that we have seen in the last slide, it is able to identify the objects, like what are the object, what is the feature, is it a bus or is it a car. So, that kind of application, if you are able to develop, so those kind of services are called cognitive services. And Azure has many such services related to speech, language, search, decision making that we will discuss in the latest slide in detail. But all these services collectively together are known as Azure Cognitive Services. So, for example, they can be, for example, the picture that we have just seen in the last slide. We want to develop an application. So, what we need to do is just to make a call to an Azure API, which can identify all the images and can revert back to you. For example, your ask is to know what kind of object is this. So for example, you want to classify the vehicles, so you want to know what is car, what is truck. So you just need to make a call to API, and rest of the things Azure will can handle. So that package altogether is known as Azure Cognitive Services. They can be used across all programming platforms and help introduce AI functionality into wide variety of applications with minimal coding effort. So developers can integrate their softwares with ability to hear, ability to understand, speak, and make decision using these APIs. Microsoft Azure is one of the most effective and highly used services of its kind. So moving ahead, what all different kind of Azure cognitive services we offered? So Microsoft offered five different type of Azure cognitive services: vision, speech, language, decision, Azure OpenAI services. So these are the different kind of cognitive services that you can include in your application. So let's discuss each of them separately. Vision. So for the application that we discussed just earlier, custom vision is the service that we are going to use the pack from the Azure Cognitive Service. So all you have to do, just I said, we have to give an API from your application to the custom vision in Azure, and the rest of the work will be handled by Azure. So recognition of faces is just a kind of, you can say, tip of the iceberg that uh, that Azure Cognitive Services can do. Custom vision also offers features like attribute features of human, like it help you identify the age, the gender, the emoticon of the face, smiles, facial hair, all those things. You can use custom vision API, and able you are able to recognize all those things. So Microsoft Vision Services can analyze the content, like so this is just example how you can make an API call to cognitive services, and API, and it will in return will able to tell you it whether what is the picture it is having, like your input is having either a mountain or a sun. So that kind of intelligence it can offer. So as I mentioned, that you can use these services to identify various features. So here in this photo, if you use custom vision service, so it is able to identify, okay, this is female, this is male, what is the approximate age, so facial hair. So all these things can be identified using the vision service. Also, Microsoft Vision Service can also analyze the visual content like GIFs and videos to identify objects within it, and they can enable application to detect and group faces and objects with distinct characteristics. Like in the example here, you can see that it's kind of a it's kind of a video of a running road, wherein AI is able to identify that which is what is the vehicle, how many number of persons are traveling on it. So that kind of intelligence can be captured, and a decision making can be included in the application. And accordingly, for example, you can say, okay, no more than two people are allowed on a two-wheeler. So that kind of intelligence can be used using a AI application. So these kind of things can be done. So okay, so vision also we have different types of computer vision APIs. So vision APIs. So one of them is computer vision, custom vision, and face. So what is computer vision? So basically, kind of a if you guys have noticed it, form recognizer. So, what is a form recognizer? Suppose that there are n number of applications in a institute, and you just want to understand that, okay, what are the different number of female and male classification out of all the population. So, what this kind of services can do, can go through the forms and can read through that attribute and divide classify your data. It's one of the example of form recognition. So this in service is used to recognize text or tags, categories, and generate descriptions. So it can also be used in the in the commercial, for example, shopping markets. So they can use to recognize various tags, that okay, which kind of which kind of goods is this. Is it a edible food? Then we need to store it like that. And if it is like a plastic thing or something which is no need to have to check the expiry date, then you can store it like in the other way. So these kind of uh, application can be developed using this computer vision service. Moving ahead, custom vision. So okay, custom vision is something that you can yourself can create a classification model. In the end of this session, I can also show you one of the model which I have just prepared to understand that how to this APIs are working. So you can create your own model by uploading some of the images and then train them. That okay, for example, in this photo, if you can see, there are certain photos of fruits. So you can train your model by saying that okay, these are the fruits and these are vegetables. Upload images by just downloading it from the browser, and train your model by saying that okay, this is the image, this is fruit, and if something else is there, that's vegetable. So this is called the training, and then use that training data to predict it. So while prediction, you can say, you can give any of the image of fruit, and then ask your model to say whether it is a fruit or vegetable. So customize, you can customize your or model as per your convenience, like whatever the requirement you have. So it's very easy, and you guys can also go ahead and create a small model and can check that how these things are working. So this is called custom vision. Now face. So as I said that face API is can be used to determine various attributes. For example, it can be used to identify what is the race of a person, what is the age of that person, gender of that person. So these API can be used to identify the various attribute of human faces, and can be also used to identify the emoticons, like what is the sentiment of that person. So this API is one of the vision API. Face API can be used to identify all those things. Okay. So second type of cognitive services is speech service. So you must have seen a lot of person have must, if they are using Teams, then you must have noticed that there is an option of transcript. So whenever you are giving any session or you are in a meeting, so automatically when you start recording, then whatever the person who is presenting or talking automatically is converting into a text. So what it is doing, it is just converting the speech into the text. It's one of the thing which I'm just saying example, because it's a very common thing a lot of people have seen. So this is what speech API do. A lot of other things also, and most of the people have this Siri thing in their phone. So when you say okay Siri do this thing, and nowadays we have Alexa also. So if you just say something to them, they just understand the patterns using the some past data, past training data, and use some words from the internet already available, understand their meaning, and give you a reply, whether whatever it is. For example, telling you the temperature, telling you the location or whatever. So this is what the speech API can be used to. Can we can use. Okay. So okay, also one of the things which yes, this is one of the example of Siri that we most commonly use. That okay Siri, and in Windows there is Cortana, so you can just ask them to do something, and yeah, they just, like for example, give me this direction while driving. So this kind of services you can use. Speech translation. This is very practical application of speech API, because a lot of times when we started working globally, so there is a lot of nations which have their native language and do not add English as a global language. So when you're communicating in such scenarios, so speech translation is very important thing to use. And many of times personally also, when we travel outside India and we want to talk something to some local vendor or want to understand something, so we many of times use the translator. So this is nothing but Microsoft Speech API is able to understand approximately 80 languages, uh, uh, and can convert. For example, in this photo itself, you can see a person is speaking in English, hello, and it's converting it in a sound and in a text, something like Chinese or Japanese language. So you can use this API to convert the data into different language. So we have like 80 more than 80 language support. Yeah, this is one of the applications, speech translation. Okay, so this was about the speech APIs. Now let's understand. So we have covered till now two APIs, vision APIs and speech APIs. And the third cognitive services provided by the Azure is language API. So what language service is provide several NLP features to understand and analyze text. What is NLP? NLP is natural language processing. So, natural language means the language which I am speaking or each one of you speaks. So, that kind of intelligence, the human mind, if we can give to any machine, so that's called natural language processing. So, for example, you must have seen nowadays a lot of websites have their bots. So, they are trained with certain set of data depending upon our past history, like how we are communicating with them, and as per that history, that bot is giving reply to us. Not every time a human presenter is there on the opposite side, because the queries are very common. For example, in a very common example that you nowadays, so it is via message, but uh, most of the times you want to know the, let's say, balance of your provider in a phone. So you can just select one, two, and they can give you things. Similarly, a lot of shopping websites also, like you want to return it, so they have their bots trained. So how they are able to train it? Because they have this in the backend, this API is working, which is able to pick the keywords from the sentence you are writing and processing it and able to reply it. So what it is doing is understanding your language, and some machine process the data and giving you the reply. No human intervention is required. So that's called that's one of the example of language API. So this we can say it makes the apps, bot, and smart devices able to learn and then understand the natural language of users. So, yep. Okay. So text analytics. So it is also one of the API of language services. What this is doing is help. For example, we have a big PDF document, and it have a lot of information and keywords in it. So what this API can help us to identify what are the what help us indicate what is the sentiment of the document, what is this document about, what are the main phrases, what are the main action item out of it. So instead of human wasting that much of time to identify that much record, like we have sometimes we have a big data to read through, so this API can go through it and can give you the just kind of a summary which actually needs to be focused on and to take action item on. So this is one of that service, text analytics. Translators. So yes, again, uh, I think every one of us have used Google translators. It's nothing but it's translating into from one language to other language. In the photo also, if you can see, there are a lot of country symbols are present. So it's what it is doing nothing but taking one language, some input from one language, and providing it can convert it easily to other language. So that is kind of also a translator is called a language service. Identify your language and then translating into the other language. So that's one of the API. Okay. So now we will discuss about the third type of cognitive service. So till now we have covered language, speech, vision. Now fourth one is decision. So what is about the decision, like uh, based on the data that this history already have, the tool or the model can be able to take any decision for the present data. So there are different type of APIs under this also: anomaly detector, content moderator, and search. So what anomaly detector is doing, I, okay, so here is an slide. So it is quite easily visible that what anomaly detector is actually doing. There are a lot of for in first image you can see a lot of fishes are there. What anomaly detector is doing is just identifying the odd one out, the one which do not fit with the group. So it, like, this is a very small set of data. Suppose there are there are banks which want to filter out all those users who do not have paid EMIs on time. So anomaly detector can easily find out those users by just finding that okay, what is unusual about this data, can separate that out. So that's one of the examples. So it can quite easily be seen in this image that what is the odd one out. It can help you to find out that. And in the second image, if you can see that it's kind of a trend, a pattern. For example, in this stock market. So you can easily use this API to actually take decision or to predict that okay, what can be the performance of this particular stock before investing in it, depending upon the trend. So these kind of APIs can be used to analyze the history data and tell what okay, what is the unusual behavior on this stock, and can help you take the decision. So it helps to predict the problem before they actually occur. So that is the anomaly detector. So kind of a decision that can, it can tell you the decision, uh, like it is always advisable whether it's a machine. Always the last decision should be of human. If it is a case of emergency, or if it is a case of human life, so whatsoever the AI got developed, the end decision should be of human. Whatever the advancement that we do doesn't matter. So it's like I myself is presenting on the AI and advancement of AI, but that is one thing that a giveaway, that in case of emergency situation and human life situation, the end decision should always be from a human, because that decision making cannot be learned to any of the machine. Okay, so yeah, it can help to predict the problem before they actually occur. A content moderator. So it is also again, here in this image you can see there is one moderator who is telling that okay, this person is writing a wrong answer and writes, for example, yeah, a teacher who is checking all the exam copies. So that kind of thing can also be taken by care by the AI. So yeah, it's a manual and tedious task, and obviously the set of questions have a one right answer and the others are just wrong answer or kind of a not complete answers. So an artificial intelligence tool can be used to just uh, identify the correct answers and mark the faulters. So there's also like uh, uh, saving the human effort and repetitive task thing, search API. So you can nowadays can be seen that the browsers that we have are intelligent. Like they can help you to reach out to the solution. Why? Because what they do is like in this image you can see that the data that we have searched in the past and the other users are doing on any particular topic, they are ingesting that data and then using these cognitive skills and data algorithms. They are help you to do a kind of help in the search. So you can see the in the Microsoft binge, you can see the binge newsletter, search, image search, entity search, spell check. So many things are there which is underlying using search APIs. So this is the third kind of language service that can be used for the cognitive services of Azure. Okay, so finally, the last kind of is Azure OpenAI, which is a lot in discussion nowadays. So, what is Azure OpenAI? Azure OpenAI is a powerful language model including GPT-3, Codex, and embedding model series for content generation, summarization, semantic search, natural language to do code translation. So actually, what it is, so OpenAI is a company who invested. in artificial language models, and they are they have prepared a lot of tools which are based on artificial intelligence. And what Microsoft has done, so vision of the Microsoft is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. So basically, Microsoft merged with OpenAI, and now we have Azure OpenAI as one of the endpoint, uh, that is now like we already have it live now. So this is what Azure OpenAI is. And Azure OpenAI have provided us four tools right now. So you must have heard all about all these tools. They are very famous these days. GPT-3, Codex, DALI, ChatGPT. So okay, so let me explain these tools one by one. What is GPT-3? So GPT-3 is all about text. So it will generate a text based on the historic data on which it is trained on. Means like, okay, in the next slide you will be able to understand it more clearly. What Codex is about? Codex is, it will help you to generate code. uh, Means like, how you can generate new form of code. So for example, if you want to create a table or you want to create a list and want to pick the data from that list, so some of the tasks in coding are very common, almost used in every applications. Login. So this is kind of thing which will be used in every application, is a repetitive kind of thing. So these tools are trained on that data and can be used. You can just need to write, okay, insert this. So then that code will be, it will provide a suggestion to you that you can insert this kind of thing in your code. So it will help you to generate and understand code. Okay, so and the other is DALI. DALI is also like open source API. I don't know like if many of you have already used this. It can generate image from a text. And ChatGPT is like kind of your friend, philosopher who can answer all your questions, doubt based on older data. Like it is also based on some historic data. So in this slide, you can clearly understand that what each tool is all about. So GPT-3 is just about text. As I said that, for example, it is asking write a tagline for an ice cream shop. So it will give you like V's or smiles with every scoop, one liner. What is the difference between GPT-3 and ChatGPT? So ChatGPT is kind of a conversation, like you're talking to your friend on, let's say, WhatsApp. So it's kind of a conversation thing, two-way thing. But GPT-3 is about a single liner thing. So for example, you have asked something, it will give you a text back. It will not hold the context of it. So for example, in ChatGPT, you can see what is the fastest animal on the land. So it's saying that, okay, the cheetah which can reach speed of this thing. So then you can ask another question based on the chat that you have already initiated. What makes them so fast? So they will reply accordingly. Okay, what makes them, so it will hold the context of it and will tell you, okay, cheetahs are built for the speed and have several adaptations that make them faster, and like this way. Chat gpt, there's a basic difference between GPT-3 and chat gpt. Okay, and now Codex. Codex can be a great help for all the application developers, all the person who are in IT softwares development. So for example, here I'm asking that, okay, this is the table, these are the columns, and I'm asking them to create a SQL query for all the customers in Texas named Jane. So this thing can give you a query as it is. It's a very small example. It is just giving a select query, but you can use it to write a complex code also, for which you might have to uh, spend a lot of times, you need to Google and all. So you can use this kind of tool to generate code. This is a select query. It can be used for .NET, Java, anything. Okay, so these are the three tools we have discussed. The other one is DALI. DALI, it is like we can say, I'm just asking a white Samis cat. So it's giving a photo of it. Yeah, so that is generating an image based on a uh, line text line. So that's about DALI. So these are the four tools for the fourth cognitive services, which is OpenAI. Okay, so that is about the theory part that I can summarize in this slide. Any questions from this? Then I can quickly show one model.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yes, ma'am. We do have some questions. So, first question is computer vision supervised? It's on your screen.
Okay.
Is custom vision supervised? I'm sorry. Is custom vision is
Yeah.
supervised?
You can make it super. You can make it. Yeah, I am going to show the demo on custom vision only. I can. You can make it supervised.
Okay. And then we have another question from the community. How do we get the models with Azure AI, or what's the best way to get pre-trained models for the Azure AI part? For the Azure AI part.
That okay. I have not actually used the already trained model, already created model. So I am not very sure how can we access them. I can get back to you with that.
Okay, and the last question is with the OpenAI thing. So he's asking how to get the OpenAI plugin API access. I don't have a credit card.
No, no, no. So OpenAI, okay. Uh, I know about this. These four tools about. So okay, if the one is Copilot. Uh, these two, ChatGPT and DALI, you guys must be aware it's free. Like you can right now only use. Right now it is free for about GitHub Copilot and other things. Uh, we have the access, the Microsoft employee, we have given the access, this limited access, so we guys are using it. How it is available for the open public, not very sure that how they are going to charge and how the payment cycle will be. But for internal use, we have kind of a beta version that is given to us.
Okay, yeah, that answers the question. Thank you, ma'am. These were the questions. You can carry on.
All right, so I have prepared a short demo, and I want each one of you please do that because it's very kind of a fun thing also. So, okay, so as I said that what AI model is about, you need to first upload some images and then train them, and then you can use to predict them. So this is a very simple model that to make you understand that how all the AI models are actually working. So I've done here what I have done. I've just picked few of the images of fruits and vegetables from the browser, from this internet, and I uploaded these images. So there is an option like okay. First of all, this is the endpoint which you can use to assess this cognitive APIs of Azure. All right. Then you just have a username credentials for Microsoft. Means I'm just using the Azure credentials here, and then I've created a subscription, and then I've created a resource group. Basic, nothing of specific thing. Basic subscription and basic resource group. Then what you need to do, you just need to add your images, with general images which you can download from the browser. Okay, so I have just for sample I've created here 10 images because this right now is allow you to train your model only if you have at least two tags and five images of each. So the minimum I have taken just for this demo purpose. So there are two tags, fruits and vegetables. So there are five fruits in this and five vegetables I have done. Okay, you just need to add images from so I've saved these images in my local folder. So I've just added them. Now next is you need to tag them. So if you see, it is saying there are five fruits. So on every photo or every image, I have created a tag. Okay, this is fruit, and for example, this is vegetable. So this is like I myself named them like fruit. This is fruit. This is images. Similarly, you can do it with the vehicles or anything. Okay. Now, uh, okay, add is done. Tagging is done. So all the images should be tagged, and then uh, okay. So I have executed one iteration to make it understand that okay, what 1 hour ago with food domain. So it is showing that when I have started one iteration. So what I have done, I have trained this model just to keep these in memory that these are the photo which are fruits and these are the photos which are vegetables. Now prediction is like you can use this thing to predict. So I have already done this, but you can again quick test. Okay, either you can use it from this portal also, or else there is an option for publish also. So you can publish, it will give you an endpoint, and you can just use it to use it as a site or something. For example, browse local file. So let's say uh, let me give it like this. Okay, so I've given one image to it. It is saying that okay, it can be a fruit 63.7% and it can be a vegetable 36.2%. So based on the training it has done 1 hour ago that I have shown, it is telling me what can be this image is about. Right? This is just an example of how a model is created. See there. So till now I've only used it for two predictions. So similarly, you can create other models also. And as I was saying that you can publish it and an endpoint will be given to you. Then that endpoint can be used like simple URL just like this. And that can be further means like it can work as a site. I hope this is very easy, simple and clear how a model is working. Yeah, that is
Uh,
about
yes, ma'am.
this.
So we have another question for the same follow-up question. So one people is asking how to integrate that prediction in our website, ma'am. Does it require API knowledge or what?
No. So there's an endpoint. Okay, as I was saying, this is a quick test I have done. It will give you an endpoint, and you just need to introduce that endpoint to your development API wherever you're using.
Okay. Yes, I hope that answers your question. So if there is any another question, please let us know in the comment section. Otherwise, yeah, let us know in the comment section if you have any other thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so ma'am, one guy in the community is asking how I can get the. Can you? Okay, what is the roadmap for getting started with Azure AI? So if you can quickly elaborate,
So
and
like I am
especially he's asking
also
how. Yeah, and especially he's asking how does it help for getting me into Microsoft?
okay. No, Let me tell you about my journey of Azure AI. I'm also very new to it. It has been only 6 months that I'm working on it. So how I have started is like I firstly introduce myself to basic keywords. So my actual you can say work profile here is mainly performance and DevOps implementation. So, but looking at the direction my company is actually heading towards, so I'm very interested about this thing. So, how I have started is I have firstly introduced the basic training. Like, what are the keywords? Like this is really basic, which you need to understand that you need to give a training. You need to ingest data, do the training, and then use it for prediction. So that I have done. Then I have enrolled for Microsoft AI 900. So that's a basic certification. That okay, I know certification is just a thing that that says if you have a knowledge, no certification is required. But still, I have enrolled for that and I've cleared that. And the next thing I'm target is 102, which is the developer of AI. So that is the way I am heading towards it. I am also working on it on the shadow, not as a main project right now. And that's the answer of how you can start with the journey on the AI. And as mentioned in this conversation only, that we have been given beta access to many of these tools that is created. For example, for example, this code is GitHub Pilot. So they allow us to make our hands dirty on it so that we learn on it. So that's the kind of journey I'm enrolling myself to learn the AI thing. And how about the how you get yourself into this? So I am right now honestly saying there are no new hirings, but looking at the products that Microsoft is launching every second month, there will be a lot of skill set that will be required. So see, I'm already an employee of Microsoft, still I'm learning this new technology because I know that this is the next tech stack. So there will be definitely a lot of lot of job opportunities on the AI thing. How you can is like career. How I enroll is like via career website. There is a career website of Microsoft. So I applied over there and I got a call. And similarly will be the process for this AI thing also. But I can assure that looking at the company focus, there will be a lot of opportunity for the AI job, AI related jobs.
And we have one question from Devansh. He's asking, can we embed these models to an outside platform or export them?
I have not used them by exporting it. I'm not. I have only used it in the Azure thing only. I have not exported till now and used it for the outside platform. So need to get back to you on this.
Sure. And is there any okay, someone is asking about the roadmap of AI 900 course. So what will be used this for AI 900?
It is already given in the Microsoft site, and I have honestly followed that only. And I'm telling you, it's if you have, I don't know if you guys have about a Microsoft AI AZ 900. It's a basic certification for the fundamentals of Azure. Similarly, it's AI. So if you guys just read through also, you just no need to hands on or mug up. You just read through also, then also you'll be able to clear it. Like I with job, I just was just doing the reading thing. I can give the path also for that. I'm looking into it. The roadmap, which can I am just posting the link that I have used for myself to get this certification. Yes. Any other questions?
No, ma'am, we don't have any questions right now. And guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to share the questions in the comment section. Also, I have just shared the LinkedIn profile of Garima ma'am in the comment section, so you can connect with him, connect with her, and you can just ask any doubt, any queries, or if you may have with her. She would. I hope she would be very happy to take up your doubts
No,
and
no,
help
I'm
you
very
mentor.
happy. Yeah.
Sure, that's awesome, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining in and taking your time, precious time out for these students for the community. I hope this helps
Thank
a
you.
lot of students to build around a career, and this helps a lot of students to give a guidance around Azure AI. So, hoping to collaborate in future. And thank you everyone for joining in. Now we have 2 days more left for Azure learning series, and see you guys all there tomorrow. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you guys everyone for joining in. Thank you.